Hi everybody, I just want to show you today what I'm working on. My supplier was kind enough to send me some of these arabesque ornaments. It's a different shape than I'm used to working on. So what I've done is I've laid it on a piece of 8.5 by 11 white paper and traced around it with a pen to get the outline. So you should be able to see here that I have the outline of the ornament. What I'd like to do right now, just get your magic wand tool here. Click inside of the ornament and we are going to Control C and Control V, and that's going to create a new layer with just the shape of the ornament and no background layer. So I'm just going to turn on my layers palette here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is our background layer. It's locked. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to hide it. So you can see right here that I got the outline of the arabesque ornament. I'm just going to get my move tool here. I'm going to click in here and I'm just going to drag it up a little bit so it's easier for me to look at it at my eye level. Okay. So what I want to do right now is I want to make a copy of this layer. So I'm just going to right click on the layer itself and hit duplicate layer. Say OK. Now I'm going to right click in this little thumbnail here on the layers palette and I'm going to choose select pixels. So what I want to do is create this shape with a bleed area, and by bleed area I mean an outside area outside of the arabesque shape that will allow me to place the ornament on the design, and it'll contain the design beyond the edges of the ornament, if that makes sense to you. That way you won't get any white marks. It won't be the exact same size of the ornament, and it will be just a little bit of an overhang there. So just click in here and select, hit modify and expand. We're going to expand the selection to make the selection a little bit bigger. So we're going to expand it by 35 pixels. That's roughly 1/8 of an inch. We're working with 300 pixels per inch. So 35 pixels is roughly 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to just hit OK here. So you can see the selection is modified, is expanded, and now it's larger than the original shape. So on this layer, our duplicate layer, our copied layer, I'm just going to delete everything. Now I'm just going to turn this layer off. So you can see now you don't have any fill in this layer inside the selection. So I'm just going to take my paint bucket tool and I'm going to fill that selection in with blue. So you can see now that this is filled with blue. If I turn this layer back on and drag it up over top of that layer, okay, this is our actual selection for our ornament shape. If I turn that off, you can see that's our ornament shape here. That should be the exact same size as our ornament because I scanned it at 300 dpi. So I'll turn this back on. I'll turn this off for now. And I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with this. How am I going to make an ornament out of this? So I'm just going to hit Control D. Control D will take the selection off. So right now I'm going to drag a couple of guides down. And the guides are going to help me place my colors. Oops, don't want to do that. Oh no. Let's close that. We don't need that. Okay, I'm just going to drag another guide down. Got a kind of a little vision here of what I want for this ornament, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm thinking some text across here. And I'm also going to drag another guide to about right here because I don't want the text to go all the way across. So just drag another guide in your rulers there and just drag it to about right here. So now we're going to make a selection. And to make the selection, I'm just going to put my little crosshairs there in the corner of the guides and just drag it out. And I'm going to fill that in with white. But I'm not going to do it on our original layer. I'm just going to hit Control Shift in, and that's going to make a new layer. So I'm going to fill that with the paint bucket tool in white. So you can see that that doesn't really look the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select pixels. Now I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm going to hold my Shift key, and I'm going to drag this out beyond the edges of the actual arabesque shape in the blue. Okay. Now, I don't really want it to look like this either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in the shape here with the bleed on it. Right click, select pixels. Now I'm going to go back to my layer that I just made with that white bar across the middle of the ornament. And now I got that layer selected. I'm going to create a mask. So right here is your mask. You just click on that, and whatever shape you got selected, that's going to create your mask. Okay, so you can see I got a mask added to this. So that only displays what's inside this mask. Anything in black is not going to display. Okay. So now we want to give this some kind of color. Some kind of pattern. So I'm going to just double click on this because I think I got some nice layer styles or nice pattern overlays. Ooh, look at that. We got like a candy cane type of deal going on here. There we go. That's nice. We also got this, which I can make that a little smaller. I also got this wood grain. I really like that. I'm going to make that a little smaller. No. Yeah, make it a little smaller, I guess. I don't know if I like that or not. I think I'll go with like a candy cane pattern. There. Make that a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good. Say okay. Now, this bar I want to double click and I want to give it a stroke. So let's see, what kind of stroke am I going to give it? Let's give it a gradient stroke. And we're going to give it like a gold color. Basics. See if they got any metallics there. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. So that's got, that shows the stroke on the edges. I really didn't want it to do that. I just want it to go across the top. So I'm gonna take that layer style off. I'm just gonna say clear layer style. Clear layer style. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a little bar to it. I'm just gonna drag out a tiny little thin rectangle here. And then I'm going to fill it in with white. Oops. Actually, what I'm going to do is create another layer. Control, Shift, in. I'm big into the shortcuts because I got tired of going through menus. It's very much a time saver just to use the shortcut keys. Okay, so on this layer, just hit your paint bucket tool. Now, Control D, deselect that. Oops. Control D, double click. I'm going to go into styles. I got some styles that I've had saved up for a while. I'll show you the settings on those. So we're going to put like a gold bar. There, that one's nice. This one's, okay, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. Let's search silver. No. How about a pink? Ooh, that's ugly. That's ugly. That's really ugly. Let's try black. Nope, black don't look any good. Some of these golds are not really what I was looking for. Let's see. Let's go with, we'll go with that gold. Say okay. Alrighty. And it's okay to leave this across outside the outer edges of the ornament, because when you place your ornament on the design, this is not going to show up anyway. So what I'm going to do with this is just, I'm just going to rename it top bar, T-O-P-B-A-R, enter, and I'm going to right click and hit duplicate. Now I'm going to grab my move tool up here, that's the top one on your little toolbar on your left hand side there, and I'm going to drag that down. Okay, so now you got your candy stripe kind of background here. You got your white middle portion here where you're going to put a name, and you got some gold bars. I don't really like this as white, so I'm going to change that. Let's go in here and let's double click on it. Go in and get a layer style and put on it. Let's give it a color overlay. Yellow overlay. Nope, we don't want overlay, we want normal. It's showing yellow with an opacity of 20. Let's turn it up. I don't really like that color. Let's try a red. We'll just grab the color out of the background pattern. That's not red. There, that's red. That kind of looks nice. Okay. So if you don't know anything about layer styles, you're not alone. It took me a very long time to figure this out. It's not rocket science, but it's not totally easy to understand until you start playing around with it and learning how different looks are created with layer styles, and that really helps. So we're going to go with that red color. I'm not going to add any inner glow or anything like that. Maybe I might. Let's try inner glow. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We don't want overlay. We'll try color burn, maybe. Size. Noise. I don't really know much about how this works. Normal. Oh, there we go. You hit normal. So you're going to get some noise. See, noise is turned up here. I don't want noise. I want to turn it down. I want to turn the opacity down on it. And I don't want these hard edges on here. I want it kind of faded out into the background. And I don't want it yellow. I want it black. Let's try black. Okay. Let's see. Size. Ooh, no. Choke. I don't know what choke does. Oh, choke. That's the hard edge. Choke is the hard edge on your inner glow. So the lower your choke number, the more subtle this inner glow is going to be. So we want it. Remember that 1/8 inch of this design is our bleed area, so it's not going to show up on your ornament, right? So size, let's make it a little bigger with size here. So that'll show up on your ornament. And now we're going to go back with the choke some more. So there you go. Now we should get a bit of that show up on the ornament. This range and jitter, I'm not really sure what this means, but you can see oh, look at that. You play with this range slider here. And that is going to control how far in this glow goes. Now, that's a pretty solid line there. We don't want that. We just want it like, say like there. And turn it up a little bit because we don't want any definite lines. We just want it like faded. Okay? I don't know what jitter does, but I'm about to find out. Jitter, not much really. It's a very slight difference. I don't think it really matters. Contour, this got the straight diagonal line on it. I'm not sure what that does either, and I'm not sure what anti-alias does either. Anti-alias, I think, does is the way the pixels are blended somewhat. Doesn't really make much of a difference in our preview here. So let's try some different contours and see what happens. Okay. Okay, I don't get the logic behind it, but oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I certainly don't like that. No. Now that could come in handy for something, but I don't know what, but I'm sure I'll remember this and go back to it at some point in the future. That I don't like. That I don't like. No, not what I need for this application. No. So we're just going to go back with what we had. That one is not bad. This one is better. So we're going to go with that contour. Technique softer or source is center or edge. We want it from the edge because we want it to look like it's fading in. Let's see what happens if we click center. Okay, so it just inverts it. Just reverses it. Okay, I don't want that. I want it from the edge. And softer or precise? Precise is softer. I think softer is better. And for choke, we'll turn it. I think there is good. I think that would look nice on a bulb, to be honest with you. So I'm one of those arabesque ornaments. Okay, so opacity, that's way too dark. Let's turn it about 50%. We're going to go back to our choke again. Oh, I kind of like that. But again, you got to remember that 1/8 of an inch on the outside of this ornament template is not going to show up on your ornament. So anything beyond the 1/8 of an inch inside of that will show up. So noise, I don't like the noise. I'll turn the noise off altogether. And so let's turn it up a little small bit here and put the choke up, put the size up, and the choke back. Oh, I like that effect. That's really nice. Oh, I really like that. Okay. So that's that. We'll hit OK. Alrighty. What else do I need to do with this? Next thing I got to do is add some text. I'm going to clear these guides out of here now. View. Clear guides. Now I want some text on my ornament. Let's see. Text. Mountains of Christmas. I like that. That's actually a Google font. It's a free font. If you go to Google Fonts, just Google it. Google Fonts. Mountains of Christmas. Very nice. I use it for my red truck ornament and all my red truck products. My red truck Santa sacks, stockings, pillow covers. Huge seller this year. So Mountains of Christmas, we're going to use a white font. I'm going to click right here. Ooh, that is way too big. We're going to do 36. Okay. We don't want bold, we just want regular. And we're going to say the McDonald's. Apostrophe, people order on my website, they can personalize it and see what it's going to look like before it's done. And just about everybody puts an apostrophe. I personally don't think apostrophe belongs there, so I'm going to leave it off of my ornament. However, anybody who puts an apostrophe on their requested text on their items that they order from my website, I'll certainly not remove the apostrophe. It'll stay there because that's what they prefer. So, either or, I'm sure it doesn't matter. It's on a Christmas ornament. I'm sure the grammar police are not going to go around and check your ornaments on your tree to make sure your apostrophes are all in the correct spot. So, but I'm going to just leave it off of mine. So now I'm just going to hit the move tool again, and that gives us the handles. So I'm going to hit Control T, because I'm going to stretch this font down a little bit. So I'm going to hold my Shift key and just drag it down a slight little bit. There. And I'm going to hit my up arrow until I get it positioned exactly where I want it. Okay. I think it's lovely. I'm not sure what you'd think of it, but I think it's lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to click off of that so that it deselects the text. I don't think I need to do anything else with that text. I think it looks great. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to select all these layers, all the visible layers. I'm not going to merge them, but I'm going, whoops. So to select them all, what I do is I just select the bottom one, scroll right up to the top, and just hit Shift key and click the mouse. and that selects all the layers in between the bottom limit layer and the top limit layer. So they're all selected. Okay. So now I'm going to hit Control G, and that's going to place it all into a group. So I always do my ornaments double-sided. Just checking to make sure my heat press is on there. I'm not going to show you how I press this. I'm just going to pause this video, print and press this design, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so now I got the group selected here. I'm going to duplicate that group because I need two copies of this. I'll be working on another video where I'm going to show you how to actually create a file so that you only got to press this ornament once. It's a double-sided ornament. It's aluminum on both sides. And if you're putting the design on both sides, you shouldn't have to do it twice. You should only have to do it once. I've done literally thousands and thousands of ornaments. I have an action created on my Photoshop that I run. I use Tea and Blue for my Shopify website for customer personalization, and they just create the file that they want. So I just go into my Tea and Blue, open the download, which is the file that they created. I right click on it, I paste it onto my template that I have made in Photoshop, and I run the action. And it gives me a perfect little file. I just score it in the center, fold it, and place my ornament in there and press it, and it comes out perfect every single time. So I will be sharing how to do that with you, and I will be creating a copy of that action that I will make available in a Google Drive. I am starting a Patreon page, and I would like to share a lot of the different little tips and tricks that I use to make my life easier. And by all means, I'd love it if you would stop by my Patreon page when I get it active and sign up. Okay, so I'm going to print this design out here now and press it, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I got my little ornament here. It's pretty cute, as you can see. I got the ribbon put in it for hanging. Double-sided, both sides. If I had my time back, I'd only put the name on one side. I'd just put the name on this side, and on this side I'd put the year. So this year, 2021, would have went on the opposite side. If I do any more of these, which I highly doubt, I doubt if I'll get any more of these now from my Chinese supplier because of time constraints. Takes like 2 weeks to get it by air. There's just not time to create and sell any of these on my website because some of this has to go clear across the country and would never make it in time. So it's an idea for next year. I'm already working on some ideas for next year. So this is definitely a shape that I will be carrying next year. I think it's rather cute, and there are a lot of designs you can get for these on some of the design websites, such as Creative Fabric. I'll give them a little shout out. I'm not an affiliate or anything of those people, but I get a lot of my stuff on there. I don't have a link to it, but later on, who knows, maybe I'll get an affiliate account and I'll start providing a link. If you just Google Creative Fabrica, you can go on there, and I think it's like $29 a month, and you can get unlimited downloads, all kinds of stuff. And I do notice that they did have some of these Arabesque ornament designs. So I encourage you that if you like this content and you find it helpful, please subscribe to my page and hit the little bell notification to be informed when I put up some new videos. And also, if you'd like to comment on this video, please do so, because it do help the algorithm and it helps my video get seen by more people. So in the meantime, hope you'll come back next time I put up a video, and have a great night.